I'm going to be giving a pair of each of these away, courtesy of our friends at Etnies and at Warsaw. So if you guys want, I want to know, are you Team Cup or are you Team Vulc, and why? And what would it take to get you to ride the other? Best comment for each is going to win one pair. If you're Team Cup, you're getting a Cupsole. If you're Team Vulc, you're getting a Vulc. Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Andrew Cannon. Today, we're doing a little shoe talk. We have not done a ton of actual compare and contrast when it comes to footwear. Obviously, we've tested a bunch of skateboards and wheels and stuff like that, trucks. But I get questions all the time about favorite shoes. And so today what I wanted to talk about was my favorite Vulc shoes and my favorite Cupsole shoes. So we're gonna try both of them, compare and contrast, and not necessarily saying there's going to be a winner of the two because I like them both for individual reasons, but we're gonna have a little bit of a look into these Warsaw Chapters. This is a Vulc shoe, it's vegan. You don't have to be vegan to buy them. They have some animal versions, but they also have a vegan version that's amazing. And then we're gonna be looking at the Etnies Maranas, which I also absolutely love for different reasons. Pull these bad boys out of the box, talk about the sizing, any of the features, and then we're gonna try them both on out of the box with the insoles that are in them. We'll take a look at them and try some different tricks, but we're gonna try them with both shoes. That doesn't mean I'm gonna wear one of each. That just means I'm gonna keep changing my shoes out throughout the process and see how they feel. All right, the Warsaws. These ones come pre-laced, which I do appreciate. The Maranas I have to lace up, and I always feel like I lace them stupid, but I'm gonna do it. The insole with this shoe is quite substantial. So this is Jamie Thomas's, we'll call it new shoe brand, but honestly it's been around for a year. They make some really cool apparel as well. This insole is very legit. So as far as a vulcanized shoe is concerned, this one is nice because it has a thick insole right here in where the ball of your foot is. It's got some good heel support in there. And for me, as someone that has had toe surgery on my left toe, if I do not have enough padding in like the toe box area and the ball of my foot, my big toe gets really, really sore because my big toe doesn't go far enough back. So I actually like a Cup over a Vulc most of the time. What I like about a vulcanized shoe though is you just have a feel that you cannot get with a Cupsole. So this is what the Warsaw Chapter looks like. The overall sole is really nice. I kind of like that it has this like Adidas look right here with this little circle pattern. I think it looks rad. Colorway is really classic, just black with white. Let's take a look at the Marana. The Marana does not come laced, but man, this shoe is so light, it's crazy. I'm actually gonna do a little compare here. So lefty to lefty. The Warsaw shoe is heavier feeling than the Marana, which is definitely interesting when it comes to, you know, a Cupsole shoe should normally feel more substantial, but this is a pretty light shoe. But what you're getting here is this shoe lasts. And I can tell you that both of these shoes last for a really long time. And I can say that confidently. I've skated in a lot of shoes and these are by far my favorite of the Vulc and of the Cupsole category. Etnies, let's take a look at the insole. You got that STI foam. The front part, a lot thinner than the Warsaws. You do have some decent support in the heel, but it's not over the top. With a Cupsole though, in general, it's a little thinner. Let's do the, let's get that back in there. Let's do a little flex test on both of them. Etnies Marana flex, out of the box. You can definitely flex, but it's a little more challenging. This one has the Michelin sole, and I will say the Michelin sole is some of the grippiest sole in skateboarding. Here's the Warsaw flex. All right, both flexing. Let's lace these Maranas up and let's get some kickflips going. Try some ollies, get that grip feel, and see where we're at on both. Also, I'm wearing this really fun shirt. It's from a company called Nowhere out of California. It says, remember, the sun is gonna explode. And I love that. I think that very much aligns with my overall life mentality. They have a crazy Airbnb, or I guess it's a rental property, and it has a bowl on the site. I would like to go check that out. So if you want me to do a review on their Airbnb, please pop that in the comments below. A couple things that are different about both of these. One, the Marana has this layer right here. So that's gonna last a little bit longer. Both of them are that synthetic suede material. These are all one piece though, right here, and I love that. I can tell you from having done probably over 1,000 kickflips in these shoes that it takes so long for this material to wear out. I finally got a hole in my other pair, and really you wear through the actual rubber here before you wear through the material. So it's really, really good. First, I'm gonna start it off with the Etnies, and we're gonna do a little grip test and try just no comply, and just kind of ollie, nollie, see how it feels. The overall feel on these shoes, a little bit snug. They're definitely not tight, but for me, I wear a 10.5 because I like a little bit of extra space. They're pretty close. There's a lot of padding in there, so that definitely makes a difference. I've got the Skate Mafia 825. This is from HLC, and I have Jessup regular grip tape on here. Your feet are not sliding around. Oh, getting the legs moving. They're pretty broken in immediately, which I do love. Like the overall actual flex on the shoe. The sole is not stiff. All right, I don't know if I'm ready to try a kickflip, but I gotta do it. Oh, that was a first kickflip morning feel right there. Not my finest of kickflips. Whoa! There we go, that felt better. Gross. There we go. Okay, here's what I like. The grip is nice. The shoes feel snug. This layer right here, so this fused on injected rubber toe cap, you can feel it. It's a little less grippy than I think what I'm used to, because I've been skating these Warsaw Chapters kind of non-stop. Took me a few to get the kickflip moving, but I'm also it's first thing in the morning. Something I love about the way the Warsaws are, one, there's a little bit more room in the 10.5, which I like for my toes. The shoe sits lower on your actual foot. So my ankle bone has some room under here, whereas if I put the Etnies back on, it's pretty close to where my ankle bone is, and it definitely feels more substantial. So if you like a shoe that's gonna hold your foot in there really nicely, this is a great one, because it definitely just feels like a little hug from your shoe. Now the Warsaw, thinner across the board. Obviously with the vulcanized shoe, you're gonna have a little bit more of that feel, which I love. I love the overall board feel. Let's do the same. Do a no comply ollie nollie and a kickflip. See if we have better results. So it's a different feel on the grip, but it's a really good feel on the grip. Oh. Whoa. Definitely need to double knot the laces on the Warsaws. Oh, I love the overall feel on the sole. It's like built out nicely. Not my finest kickflip, but the grip on the upper right here, that single piece of that synthetic suede material, feels really nice and is grippier out of the gate than this rubber right here. Let's try some 3 flips, and let's try a nollie heel, because those are both kind of go-tos for me. Whoa! Feels nice. Look at that. Okay, first try on the nollie heel, took 2 on the 3 flip, but that's okay. The heel's nice, because you do, like, when you put your weight into the heels, you can feel that insole. And also on the toes, it's so comfy, especially for a Vulc shoe. It's funny because it's such different worlds here. Whoa! Try the nollie heel. Man, for me, that thicker feeling sole, I don't know if it's a feel thing or a physical thing, makes such a difference when it comes to heel flips. Whoop, that was bad. The funniest part is I love both of these shoes, but they feel so drastically different. Okay, I've got them obviously both on. So I think what's really interesting right now is I'm just going, like I said, stock insoles. And up until this moment, I would have said to you, yeah, the Marana definitely has a thicker feeling sole. But standing here with both of these shoes on, the Warsaw actually feels like it has more support with the stock insoles than the Marana does. That said, the Chapter is thinner on the upper, so it feels a little bit more like a Vans would, whereas this Marana, really you can feel that difference on the upper because it's really hugging your foot so nicely. So if you like that kind of a feel, if you grew up skating Etnies or S or DCs or some of the Lakais, like that is definitely the feeling that you're gonna get from these Maranas. Okay, we've done some, I'm gonna call them relatively crappy flat ground tricks. Let's move it over to the quarter pipe and the ledge and just kind of see how all of that feels actually skating around the park. I'm gonna start it off with the Maranas. So far I'm surprised that the Warsaw is actually more cushy with the insole that it comes with than the Marana. That said, the upper on this one is more thin and it definitely stretches out a little bit as you continue to skate, whereas the Marana is going to continue to hug your foot and it feels like a pillow. So depending on what kind of upper you go for, that's important. This is really nice if you're trying flip out tricks, just because if your board's whacking into you, it definitely adds some padding in there where you feel it a lot more with the Warsaws. Let's try some ledge tricks and see how that goes. We got some weird shadows in the park right now, so I'm not even gonna mess with the quarter pipe like I said I was gonna. It's just gonna be too dark. So we'll mess around on this ledge and see how responsive they are, but it's actually been really fun because if you would have asked me beforehand, hey, which sole is thicker, I would have said the Marana for sure, but having gone apples to apples, this one actually feels more cushy. And that's surprising, especially for a Vulc shoe, because most of the Vulc shoes, I cannot skate with the insole that's provided. A lot of heel going right there on my part. I really was like, oh, maybe I can versus these. You can't. They're just different shoes. Like the Maranas are gonna be really nice and cushy and comfy on your feet on the upper. And these Warsaws are thinner and therefore you get a different feel, but the actual sole of them and the insole that's provided is really comfortable and cushy. So I like them both for different reasons. Ooh, I don't know if it'll slide, but I should try a flip out trick. So I said, you know, flip out makes a difference with the shoes, because if your board slams into your feet with this upper, you're gonna really feel it, versus a Marana upper is like a pillow. Woo! I'm gonna move the camera so it's a front side angle for the tailslide kickflip. Ooh. Okay, Etnies time. Big time noticeable difference right there. Oh. Back to the Warsaw. Oh. Oh, I don't know if I personally am feeling the best with the tailslide kickflip, but the Maranas feel really nice and easy, and I think what that comes from is this rubber toe cap. Because that rubber is a little less grippy, it makes it easier to get the flick out quickly. Good thing I checked, the battery died, but I haven't made the tailslide kickflip yet in either shoes. So try to get it done in the Etnies, try to get it on the Warsaws. I have 11 minutes until I have to hop on a call. Can I do them both? I will not say it was great, but it's done on the Etnies. All right, that's gonna do it today for the kind of compare and contrast between the Warsaw chapter and the Etnies Marana. And here's my overall thoughts. One, the Etnies, super comfortable on the upper. I was surprised that the Warsaw actually felt cushier with the footbed. I think it's just because they do have a more substantial insole that comes with the shoe. I do put the Remind insoles, the Medic ones, in any of the shoes that I'm skating because I think it's kind of the best insole that I've skated so far, and I really like how it makes my feet feel. But this one's a lot more like a hug, and it feels really good and grippy around your actual foot, so it's very comfortable. This one's a little thinner on the upper, but has a really good strong flick. Whereas this rubber, once you get used to it, feels awesome. Sort of the way that if you've ever skated like a Chuck, the rubber on that, not that it necessarily is not grippy, it just takes a minute to break in, and once it's broken in, it's really good and flicky. Two very different shoes. My question for y'all, are you guys Vulc or are you Cup? And which ones do you think looked better when I was skating? I will say, I like looking down at a Vulc shoe, like a black shoe with a white sole. I think it just looks really classic and really nice. Okay, that's it. Overall, you can't go wrong with either of these. I love them both. You can look down below. I got discount codes for either or. If you like them, buy them. If you don't like them, tell me what other shoes I should try skating. Cup, Vulc, I will challenge you and say, name a vulcanized shoe that is more comfortable than this. Both long lasting, both really comfy, both break in really quickly. Thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video.